Greetings all, and welcome to Ruh-Roh, It's a Scooby-Doo podcast, where two adults talk about a children's cartoon.
But, like, in a really mature, complex way.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna warn you, like, right at the top here. This is a podcast about a children's show, but this is not a children's podcast. We're going to talk about some real weird stuff and use some real bad words. And I'm restraining myself now, but I wanted to use like 4 since we started.
Twat. that was on the top of my list.
This is why you're my favorite. Alright, so we're going to be going through all of the Scooby-Doo movies and possibly all the made-for-TV specials, all the ones that were released on DVD anyway. If it was released on DVD and it features Scooby-Doo, we'll be doing it. If it's like a Hanna-Barbera special and Scooby-Doo shows up, I don't give a shit.
I do. But that's just me, I guess. We'll see.
I don't want to do like Captain Caveman.
Okay.
And all the other Hanna-Barbera shit. Because they made like 8 Scooby-Doos.
So many.
And I don't give a shit about any of them. The only Scooby-Doo that matters is Scooby-Doo. I showed up in a button-down shirt and a sweater looking real professional to talk about the greatest cartoon known to man.
I refer to Scooby-Doo as the least racist cartoon of my childhood. Because, like...
Have you watched original Scooby-Doo?
Yes, and
I own the
least...
first season of Scooby-Doo, and there's an episode with an Indian ghost who is being... the plot is a rich white guy.
Right.
It's so racist.
Still the least racist cartoon of my childhood.
One of the lines is, like, it's
back.
Geronimo!
Okay. Tom and Jerry.
Was Tom and Jerry? We don't have time to talk about this right now.
Sorry, wrong show.
Okay, so we're going to go through all the released on DVD specials and movies.
Uh-huh.
The first one of which is a TV special entitled Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood. This was originally released around the time of the original series. I don't have the date of the original release sitting right up in front of me right now, but it was, right around when the original series was. And then there was a break before they started releasing any other specials or movies.
I like that this was the first movie because, like, Scooby-Doo is already selling out, Sorry's like, I'm famous. It's been around for what? After the series started, it was around for, like...
2 seasons.
8 years? 10 years?
Yeah. So when this came out, they'd only done like 2 seasons of Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And then they changed the name of the cartoon instead of just doing more seasons. I don't know what was going on.
Pretentious as fuck of a title is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. that is true. Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood after having 2 seasons of a modestly successful show.
Right.
But the description of this particular movie is, and this is directly from Amazon product description, the gang goes to Hollywood as Scooby-Doo stars in his first film. When a creepy creature wants to put a stop to the film, Scooby must solve the mystery that endangered his star status to ensure his star status remains intact. That's completely inaccurate. That's not what this movie's about at all. I don't know why that's their product description.
I was about to say, there's a creature in this because it kind of sounds like a way for them to have as many cameos as possible in a Scooby-Doo movie.
What this movie is actually about is Scooby-Doo is in Hollywood, and they're making the Scooby-Doo show, which this movie posits is just a television show, and we'll get more into that after we watch it.
Right.
But, so they're making the Scooby-Doo show, and Scooby-Doo is like, I want to be on other shows. I want to be a more serious actor. He goes through that period of his career.
Boy.
And so they just use this to parody a bunch of other shows that were contemporary at the time, ? So there's like sketches about a bunch of different stuff. And I'll be honest, Monica here has not seen this movie. I have. I watched this a while back.
We did try to watch this one time before, and we got like 5 minutes through before you were like, no, I'm sorry. we'll try again another time because it made you. What was it like? There was a number that came on. You're like, I can't.
So the movie starts.
Chris hates musicals and joy. You should know this now, and I'm really confused.
Those two things are not related.
Okay. Says you.
So there's an opening musical number that we reached, and it's awful. Everything about it is terrible.
It was awful, to be fair. Yes.
And so I was like, if this is the entire movie, I'm not going to do this. That's not the entire movie. It's not a musical. There are just musical numbers throughout it. But it's not a musical.
We're going to talk about what musicals are and then off.
They aren't story-based musical numbers. They're just randomly inserted.
Have you ever seen a...
No. Okay. So if it was a musical, every time they went into doing a television parody, there would be a song, right?
No, not necessarily. Bye Bye Birdie.
There has to be some structure to it.
Bye Bye Birdie. We'll watch it sometime. No structure.
The musical numbers don't even necessarily all have lyrics. They'll just have random music that accompanies a scene.
Oh, okay.
It's totally at random.
Okay, all right, never mind.
That's the problem, is that how they do the music is always completely random.
Right. I can't argue this with you because I haven't seen this yet.
That's true, which is why we're going to have to watch it now. This was a mistake. I should also be clear, I'm drinking and will continue to do so.
Yeah.
So, now we're going to watch Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood, and we'll come back with our impressions and review and tales of horror. We're on the first movie and I'm already regretting this. See you soon, folks!
We made this up.
Alright, we're back. I've had a beer. Monica has had a screwdriver. I'm wearing fewer clothes.
Wait, this is... Dale as my witness.
This is a true...
That's a weird transition to this.
It's a true statement, though. I took off my sweater. It got warm.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to take that to a weird place, but I totally did. I did mean to take that to a weird place. I don't want to lie to you. You're my friend.
Thanks, friend.
I'll lie to you, audience. You're not my friend yet.
Right.
We're on episode 1. We don't know each other. We don't have a relationship. But, so yeah, we finished the movie.
Yeah.
God help us.
We sure did. And it made me think about becoming a dog trainer.
Do you want to go through the movie just kind of in order? Just like highs and lows? The ups and downs.
If I can even remember it in order, it's all a blur. And then we went back to look at the poor animation parts.
Yes. Okay, so we'll try to go through it in order. We're gonna mess up, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So it starts with essentially a Scooby-Doo opening.
Yes.
Like there's a dark, scary place. They pan past a crow. The crow leads us to a castle. It's actually all looks really cool. Like the creepy area animations, the backgrounds are always the best part of Scooby-Doo.
Right.
So we get inside the castle. Scooby and Shaggy are running. They see the shadow of the crow and it scares them. Oh, the crow points to let us know where the camera should be going, therefore making the crow possibly omniscient? And then he never comes back again, so we'll never know. Like, that crow shows more situational awareness than any other character in the movie.
Right. Throughout, really. And then an evil lobster appears, destroys the set. It's never seen again.
Yeah, so they're making an episode of the Scooby-Doo show.
Right.
As it turns out, that features the crabby creature of something crag? Is that right? Creepy crag.
Krusty
Thank
crab.
you. It's the crabby creature of creepy crag.
Crag? Creepy crag.
Work with me here. Creepy crag is another thing that doesn't show up in this.
I didn't know that was a thing.
This is Creepy Craig?
Yes, I will agree.
We need to find a man named Craig.
Special guest.
Special guest Creepy Craig. Hi, guys.
What are y'all doing down here? You watching some Scooby-Doo? Sounds real nice. Anyways.
Yeah. So we get to the part where it's revealed that that's an episode of Scooby-Doo. Like, we see the cameras and everything. They get dropped down a pit, they get dropped in a barrel, dropped in a pit, thrown by a catapult, which is more convoluted than any scheme they came up with in Scooby-Doo that actually worked.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they land gently in some hay, and the barrel crumbles.
The barrel disassembles itself.
Oh, yeah,
the two metal parts come off, and then the planks just go beep, 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 beep. I don't want to get too much into that, but it was weird.
This, like I said, this movie was just over-animated. Like, just way too much animation was involved in what was, like, needed.
Yeah, you did point that out, that just, like, things happen in a much more dramatic fashion than necessary. People's faces move too much, that sort of thing.
Like, blinking a little too hard at some points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just, like, adjusting their positioning for no reason as they talk.
Yeah. Oh, God, it was so fucking weird.
But so... Yeah, so the barrel lands. It cracks open.
Right.
I don't want to stick on this scene for too long, but then after they do the transition, all the hay that they landed on disappears.
Right.
It's just gone.
And then we get smacked with... Oh, wait, do we get smacked with a song before then or after that?
Well, there's a brief moment where Shaggy is like, Scooby-Doo, they're movie stars. You should be a movie star. Like, he points out, like, random people they make up that are movie stars.
Scooby-Doo, they're playing you. That's what happened.
Yeah, Shaggy is basically like, hey, Scooby, you're getting played for a punk bitch.
Yeah.
You should take these suckers for all they're worth.
Yeah.
Shaggy is the driving force of this movie, really. He's
the antagonist. If there is to pick one.
He's like the antagonist and the protagonist at the same time. He's the only one doing anything.
Yeah, you really don't know where he stands in this movie.
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
That's the real message of this movie is Shaggy's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie. That's the only thing we learn. So, but yeah, so Shaggy's like, you should be a star. Words and shit. He's like, you should be a star, Scooby-Doo. Wow, I'm really struggling.
I know.
I didn't have that many beers. But then they go into a full musical number starring Casey Kasem, who it turns out cannot sing.
No.
Not when he's voicing Shaggy, at least. Casey Kasem's got a very nice voice normally.
Yeah.
He could probably sing, but the Shaggy voice is not a singing voice.
No.
So you end up with just this, like...
Squeaky.
Yeah.
Awkward.
This persistent squeak
Yeah.
about how Scooby-Doo's gonna be a star, and then they, like, run through the set of a bunch of different films and television shows. It's like, here's Aladdin, or, you know, like a desert-themed thing.
Right.
Here's a medieval-themed thing. Here's a pirate-themed thing. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And it's a full song, and you're like, God, no. Please, God in heaven, no.
Let this not be the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really awkward song.
Luckily, that's not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then that's
I wouldn't
just...
say luckily.
Well, that's just the feint. They're like, it's not a musical, pow, it's a clip show.
Right.
They just, like, slap you straight in the face with bullshit clip show.
It's a Scooby anthology.
So, from there they go to the network exec, who is both slimy and also portrayed somewhat sympathetically, like they couldn't make a decision. And we get clips of Scooby doing other stuff.
Right. He's trying to diversify his acting.
Diversify his portfolio.
His portfolio. Get a hedge fund in his career.
I'm so glad we went to the same place with that one. But yeah, so it's like... I'm going to try and remember the order of these, and I'm not going to.
I think the first one was a cowboy.
Yeah, the first one was a Western.
Yeah.
And that one really trips me up because it's like Scooby-Doo versus the bad guy in this Western, and Scooby-Doo's the sheriff. But it's clearly something they're shooting. Yeah. Like Shaggy refers to, remember your image. And the guy playing the bad guy is clearly an actor playing a cowboy villain because he's confused when things go off script.
Right.
So Scooby's fear is completely illogical.
Which, again, I feel like that's a very realistic thing to expect from a dog. I feel like that is the most real thing about dog actors, is I think they do think those things are actually happening.
But now we have to... Do we want to jump into that now? Or wait? Because that's a whole thing.
We can wait. I just want a little, like, preview of this thought real quick.
Just tuck that away. We'll come back to it. Then they go into... Where do they go from that? Was that straight to the roller skating?
Well, then they flash back to the exec, who's just like, what the fuck, man? What are you idiots doing? Like...
Could you project a little...
What are you idiots doing? Why?
Yeah, so that's what the exec did. We do. That's the reason that the exec comes off as like weirdly sympathetic, is right. Because we don't like him, but every time that they go do something stupid, we flash back to the put upon exec, who mirrors our emotions of being very put upon.
How we feel about this shit. We're just like, we don't want to watch this either. You're right. I think that's why we feel for him so much, is like, you see the crap he has to deal with, and you're just like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're
put him in his place, please.
You're very empathetic to him because you feel like it's the two of you
right.
going through this bullshit.
Right.
He's the only person who's like, oh god, boy. Everyone else is either like, yeah, or no, Scooby-Doo can't leave his show. Equally enthusiastically, he's the only one with no enthusiasm.
Right. Anyways, then there's the skating thing.
Yeah, so they do roller skating. It's what is it, Laverne and Shirley? Is that the name of it?
It's off-brand, Laverne and Shirley.
I'm just trying to remember the name of the show they're doing a joke about.
Yeah, Laverne and Shirley.
Which I know nothing about.
It's, I saw it once on TV Land accidentally.
Topical.
Yeah. It was back then.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with this movie, I feel like, is all the references are dated.
Yeah.
Because from they go to this, which raises the interesting point, if a dog skates and can stand on two legs, does it wear 4 skates or only 2?
The answer is 4, apparently.
Apparently. Scooby-Doo is a terrible skater. That's the like, Scooby-Doo shouldn't be doing any of this scene.
Right.
But then they crash into a revolving door, and it revolves and revolves and revolves. And the rest of the Scooby-Doo gang, Daphne, Velma, and Fred, who are just called Daphne, Velma, and Fred, apparently. This is a show where everybody is playing themselves.
Right.
That really fucks me up.
Yeah. I mean, aren't there shows where, like, the actors just use their names rather than a character name? I'm sure those exist.
No!
No?
Like Full House. None of
that
them go by their
wasn't
real...
Stephanie.
Yeah! No one goes by their real name. Like, Neil Patrick Harris isn't named Neil Patrick Harris in How I Met Your Mother.
Now it's not, but I'm pretty sure, like, Roseanne, that was named after her. Ignore the fact that Reba. Everyone else wasn't the same name. Reba, thank you for being here with me. You know?
Okay, fine. Dale, who's also in the room but not participating. No, it's fine. You can be an off-screen character.
She is, when it comes to helping me, and I love that about Dale.
I will support Monica 100%.
Dale's like that character in Tool Time, the neighbor on the other side of the fence. You only ever see his hat.
I'm Wilson?
Yes!
Yes! And just spouts fucking wisdom.
He's my favorite character in that show.
He's the only character that's worth remembering.
I liked Al.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Al and Wilson. Literally anyone
Tim.
who isn't supposed to matter.
Good.
Tim's bullshit.
Tim is bullshit, but he knows, you know.
Okay.
This isn't what this is about, though.
Moving on. So, okay, yes. Reba, Roseanne. The only other one I can think of, though, is Seinfeld, where he's playing himself. It's literally a fictionalized version of his life. And Jason Alexander's character isn't named Jason Alexander. It's just Jerry Seinfeld. All I'm saying is this shit freaks me out.
Okay.
Because it's not just them. It's every single person who is in a show is referred to as that character. The Groove is just the Groove. Like, they're surprised he's there. We'll get to that in a second. Because, yeah, that is actually the next bit, is that they do the exact thing, and then they do a Happy Days parody.
Right.
With the Groove.
Right. Who's...
Whatever that character... The
Fonz.
The Fonz. That's
and he's
his name.
bullshit. And Henry Winkler is rolling in his grave. I think he's dead. I might be wrong.
We're not going to check on that. We're not checking to see if Henry Winkler is dead because I don't want to know.
We're not fact-checking on any of this shit, alright? We live, bitch. We are, like, just going for it. Like, we don't care.
Row the Scooby-Doo podcast. We don't fact-check. That's our tagline.
We'll see.
But yeah, so we get through that. We get through the Happy Days sequence where it's established that, one, everyone's tripping balls.
to the guy on the phone.
Yeah, there's a guy who's doing the doo-wop part because since it's Happy Days, it's a doo-wop song. He's the bass section going dooby-doo-doo-doo. He's just on the phone saying dooby-doo-doo-doo into the phone.
It's my favorite. It's so good. I laughed. I enjoyed that so much. I just was watching him in the background going, doom, 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 doom.
It was pretty great, but the thing is that, like, there's a number, but then the Groove's motorcycle falls apart, which upsets him momentarily, but then... Yeah.
Let's recall, Scooby dumps a milkshake into the gas tank, then...
The entire motorcycle falls apart. I'm not an engineer, nor a mechanic. I'm going to assume that's how that works, because fuck you.
And then they use the... What is that called?
The tailpipes. The exhaust pipes.
As guitars?
I don't know. You're looking at me like I know.
I thought maybe they could be didgeridoos, but they were definitely strumming on those fucking exhaust pipes. And I'm like, oh, what a creative and illogical use.
Well, the other thing is then they float into the air, defying all physical laws of the universe, which is not a part of this. It has not been part of the scene up till now. Like, nothing else weird has been going on except the 8-bit people. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
There's a bit where they, like, zoom in on a couple of pinball machines, and there's 8-bit people dancing to the song. But they didn't make 8-bit people. They just made jagged people.
Jagged, like, rock people.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they're...
Flintstone vitamins. Like, that's all I could think of. They're, like, orange and purple.
Flintstone vitamins. Yeah, the thing is that they have a jagged outline, but the squares they're supposed to be made up of are irregular.
Yeah.
So it ends up being like a double not quite right feeling.
Right.
Oh, they're wrong.
I think that's a great description for this whole thing. Is like not quite right.
Yeah, everything about it is not right. So yeah, they have the tailpipes. They're playing guitars. They float up into the air. Everyone celebrates. This was apparently a huge success. The Groove is not at all angry that his motorcycle is now a pile of shit.
But then Scooby, feeling accepted by the group, goes forth and does nearly the coolest thing one can do at a malt shop, which is tap on the jukebox and make it play. However, it crumbles, and that's when that guy's like, oh, really? You wanna go?
The look on his face is pure murder.
Right.
He is ready to shank Scooby for destroying that jukebox.
But not his motorcycle.
Nope. The motorcycle, which is undoubtedly worth more.
Right.
And also is his personal property, not the property of the malt shop.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, his priorities were like, my cool! It's gone! I got nothing now. No motorcycle, no jukebox. I could live without the motorcycle, but
also,
the jukebox.
Is nobody shocked that Scooby-Doo can bang on a machine and make it fall to pieces? He bangs on it and it just goes... It just crumbles. Like, it's not even like he hit it with super strength and it folded in on itself. Right. He hits it and the individual components deconstruct themselves. It's ridiculous. Like, it's a cartoon, fine. Yeah. I'm pointing that out for humor's sake, but that is actually how they animated it. The whole thing is deconstructed.
Right. Yeah, and it is a cartoon, but still, the man should have been way more upset about his motorcycle.
Yeah, no, that's
inexcusable.
Fair. That's inexcusable. So I'm pretty sure at that point they go back to the exact... This is when the whole thing gets hazy. Yeah. Because they start hitting a bunch of things one after another.
Right.
So, in no particular order, they break the news to the gang that Scooby doesn't want to do the show. Mm. The gang, justifiably, is worried about their jobs.
Right.
We get a flashback of what Scooby-Doo looked like as a kid. The rest of the gang are teenagers, thus nullifying the continuity of a pup named Scooby-Doo, upsetting me greatly.
Heartbreak everywhere.
Not really, though. A pup named Scooby-Doo was like, meh. As far as, like, the scale of Scooby-Doo goes.
Yeah, you can't beat Mystery Incorporated.
Well, yeah, it's below Mystery Incorporated. It's probably below Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts. It's definitely above Scooby-Doo and Scrappy 2.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it beats the original series, though.
Yeah.
Of course, that might just be nostalgia factor on my part.
On the very top is Scooby-Doo and the Harlem Globetrotters. Because that shit's amazing. Love every moment of that. That's not a movie. That's just shit I like about Scooby-Doo.
As far as guest stars go, that gets beat by Scooby-Doo and Batman 2. Adam West.
Globetrotters? And then Adam West?
No, Adam West beats everyone. Adam West...
Fuck you.
Adam West beats everyone.
No, I'm sorry.
No, not fuck me. No, Adam West is the best.
R.I.P., but no. The Globetrotters.
That man could make just saying his name funny. You can't beat that.
Alright.
Adam West. Adam West. It's the funniest shit. Abraham Lincoln never wore a turtleneck sweater.
Yes. I know.
It's the best. Whatever. We're totally off on this movie now. God damn it. Hold yourself together, people.
Focusing is hard because there's so much to talk about with Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo is a deep well, and we may never dredge the bottom.
We have a lot of feelings about Scooby-Doo. That's the problem here. Is we feel too much about this stupid show.
Just get through the movie. Okay, so...
All right.
Flashback. They do the bit where Scooby-Doo goes to the high-class restaurant, then he goes to what is apparently the one pool in Hollywood. Like, the upper-class restaurant makes the papers. Like, local actor makes a fool of himself at high-class restaurant. Yeah, that's, the Globe or whatever reports on that. Local actor was at the pool. Literally, I think they just call it the pool.
A Hollywood pool.
I think they just call it the pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they just refer to that pool as the pool.
Well, we're not
which
fucking
is why...
fact-checking, so we'll never know.
Well, that's why it stuck with me. I was like, that's the only pool then? Not like, you didn't give me a street or anything, or just a pool in Hollywood. It was the pool.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Well,
it was the pool to be at.
Also, Scooby-Doo does like a triple spin, double flip type deal onto straight concrete.
Right.
It's a cartoon. He doesn't die.
Right.
He would have fucking died. Oh my god. All his ribs would be broken.
So many times he would have died. He would have died at the beginning when he fucking crashed in that barrel.
Yeah, that barrel would have killed him right off the bat. Okay, so there's that. They do some more bits like Sonny and Cher, where he's a magician for some reason. I've never seen Sonny and Cher, but that didn't seem like a Sonny and Cher bit.
No, it wasn't. I don't know where you're getting Sonny and Cher from. Did she say her name was Cher? Because I don't recall any of that. Just because she's a brunette.
No.
In the 70s. Is it?
Yeah, hang on.
Oh, now we're fact checking. That was important.
Well, we don't need to, like, research. I just need to Google Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood and click the very first link. It's not fact-checking. I'm just... Yeah, Sonny and Cher, because it was Scooby and Cher.
Saturday Night Fever, Sonny and Cher, Love Boat.
Saturday Night Fever was the super freaky acid trip that came right after the Sonny and Cher bit where he was a magician. Which, holy shit, we're about to get into that hardcore.
Listen, neither of us were that time period, is the other problem. So, I don't know shit about Sonny and Cher and magicians. All I know about Sonny and Cher is the I Got You Babe song. That's it.
I know literally nothing.
So, you know less than that.
Except Cher existed and then went on to do a bunch of really good music.
Yeah, true.
I'm a bitch for good music.
I'm a bitch for that. Do You Believe song.
So, but then right after the Sonny and Cher thing was this fucking acid trip where I think this woman wants to bang Scooby. Was I wrong?
Yeah, no, you weren't wrong. I'm trying
so
to...
So I wasn't wrong, but also no.
Right. I'm trying to be in a child's mind where they were okay watching this and being like, she just loves Scooby and admires him so much, but no, she wanted to fuck that dog. There's no way. There's no other way to read into that. She was giving the dog bedroom eyes, and it was really fucking weird.
Hot takes from the podcast, folks. That woman wanted to fuck that dog. God, this is awful. This show is just a train wreck.
Garbage fire. Oh no.
Okay, but my big thing about that, like, that was weird, and that struck me immediately.
Right.
But then the context of it was like they were dancing on a stage. And then there were bubbles, and then they were on a guitar, and there was some other shit going on. Like, it was just constant things happening.
Her using her witchcraft to seduce the dog.
Yeah, and from the Wikipedia page, I'm supposed to assume that was Saturday Night Fever. I know nothing about Saturday Night Fever, but I'm pretty sure they didn't make Saturday Night Fever by doing acid and just filming their visions.
Again, I never saw that. Was it Saturday Night Fever a John Travolta thing? Am I thinking of the wrong thing?
No, I think Saturday Night Fever was eventually made into a John Travolta thing, but it was initially a television show. And if it wasn't, then they're just jumping from movies to film.
Oh, that dress. Okay. She's wearing the same dress.
Yeah, okay, the Saturday Night Fever dress is the dress. So they just jumped to film for no reason out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Oh, and we skipped the dream sequence when they were outside of the famous movie theater that's got all the Asian architecture. Where they do a lot of premieres. They do a lot of big premieres.
Okay,
That's what that was supposed to be.
That was a dream sequence?
Yeah, because they pull up outside of it and Shaggy's like, imagine being in a premiere here.
Oh.
And then Scooby has a vision of it, and he imagines himself in a Superman movie, which was mildly entertaining. Mildly entertaining. Yeah. Scooby-Doo with big muscles. He gets caught in an air vent.
He almost kills a bitch.
Well, no, before that, the narrator mentions that when he's working, he's in disguise. So he runs to a phone booth that's in the building, throws a bunch of clothes outside of it, comes out wearing glasses and a hat.
Right.
Same costume, types.
Same muscles.
Yeah, same muscles, same everything, just types on a tiny typewriter compared to his size. And they're like... And then you hear, help! Help me! He flies out the window, sucking the entire contents of the floor with him. Just
right. The lady's hair goes flying.
That was so weird.
Speed.
That was so weird.
They couldn't just, like, flip up a little. It had to, like, float off of her scalp in order.
Yeah, okay. the hair flying to show speed was weird. And then Lois Lane is on a rocket. Because that is obviously something that a villain would do, is attach a woman to a rocket. 2-for-1 special, you get a city and a single person.
In the big city, where she was about to, like, destroy the whole city with herself.
Yeah, she lives there. She works there. Why'd they bother? But anyway.
The big city.
Yeah, it's literally just called Big City. I forgot about that.
So stupid.
That sounds like something they would do in a parody. Like in an actual like hardcore parody of superheroes or whatever.
Right.
They'd be like, in big city.
Any town, USA.
Yeah, it was so dumb. But yeah, so he unties her, drops her to go get the rocket, catches her, puts her down, flies away, pulling her foot out from under her because she was stepping on his cape, gets the rocket and it explodes in his face. 1, she's hurt. She fell down hard. 2, when that rocket exploded, there was cheese and a pencil sharpener and I think like a ladder or something.
It was like a toy, like a Pinocchio toy or something. It was really...
It didn't make any sense.
I think that was supposed to be like shrapnel that hurts people. You know how they make bombs.
I don't know.
We're kids from the internet. We know how to make bombs. Let's be real.
I know how to make a death device. Yay! Anyway. So that one ends. Then they go into The Sound of Scooby, which is the funniest joke in the entire thing.
Oh my god. That was amazing. That was actually, that kind of made it worth it, honestly. A little bit.
But then you had to watch all the stuff that came after it.
And before it. But, like...
Do you want to explain how that one went?
I'm so bad at explaining things, but Scooby... It's the opening to The Sound of Music, and Scooby's in a dress, and he's just running around the field in a circle, and his little Scooby voice is like, the hills... I can't sing. Sorry. The hills are alive with the... And then he just jumps off a cliff into, like, a river.
He doesn't... Well, hang on. He doesn't jump. Scooby-Doo is not suicidal. He's, like, doing the little twirly motion. He just steps off a cliff, out of frame and off a cliff. And then just show a top-down shot of him falling.
I don't know. He didn't seem panicked. He seemed perfectly relaxed.
They didn't animate him moving at all. He was a stationary object rotating.
And why was that the one thing they didn't really animate?
I don't know. They also didn't animate him flying. He was a stationary shape flying.
It didn't make sense. They animated so many other things that didn't need animation.
I feel like they had 30 animators. And of those, 10 of them were lazy. And I don't know which 10, so I can't call them out by name, but you know who you are.
And how dare you?
All
right.
Okay, so the dream sequence,
Sound of
all the other bits, they capped on Charlie's Angels.
Kind of.
Well, that was the last
bit
they did.
Right.
But before that, that's actually the important thing. We'll cover Charlie's Angels briefly, but it was bullshit. Before that, the gang gaslights Scooby.
Right.
That's what they did.
Yeah. No, that wasn't right. That was right. Sorry.
No,
I didn't make that clear.
So they collude with the exec to make Scooby think he's losing his job on the show. They hold fake auditions, which... Did they pay those people those dogs to come to that audition? Because otherwise, that was a really mean-spirited thing to do, to hold an audition and not hire anyone.
Right.
If you're an actor, that's important.
Should they have put that on the ad in little parentheses? Like, this is bullshit.
We're hiring for the position of Scooby-Doo, but it's secretly bullshit.
They're dogs. They can't read. It's fine.
Yeah, they do a couple of one-off jokes of, like... Scottish dog trying to be Scooby-Doo, blind dog trying to be Scooby-Doo, tough guy, mob dog, like just a
very high-pitched voice.
Bunch of stupid jokes.
Very effeminate dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a joke. Being homosexual is a joke in this movie. Only for a minute, only for like a hot second, but like I wasn't going to ignore it.
I don't think it's fair to say that like those years were a time when being gay was funny. Being gay is still funny in a lot of shows. Like Modern Family.
I know. I'm not calling it out based on its age. I'm just saying. Right. Also, Modern Family uses the fact... Never mind. I don't think Modern Family is being sexist or homophobic. I don't think they are. I think they're really good about it.
I don't think they're being homophobic, but they are, like, you know, making an effeminate gay man, like, a funny thing.
They do, but only on the basis that he's a very dramatic individual. It would be the same if a straight man or a woman was a very dramatic person.
But it's always, like, the gay guy who's super dramatic.
No, Sofia Vergara's character is also super dramatic.
We're getting very off topic.
Again.
We are interesting people. We will not apologize for being interested in a lot of different things, and at the same time, I apologize for being interested in a lot of different things.
Sofia Vergara's character is very dramatic. Her son's very dramatic.
Yeah, and that's some racist Hispanic shit, too.
Hang on, Haley is very dramatic. A bunch of characters in that show are very dramatic people. That's what makes the show work. I'm not saying that everything on the show is squeaky clean, because I can't make that determination. I'm neither Hispanic nor a woman nor gay. I don't get to have an opinion about that. I'm just saying...
I'm an Hispanic gay woman, and let me tell you, that shit is
Okay, one of those things is untrue.
Which one?
You are not gay.
Kind of. Enough.
Kind of.
Enough for this argument.
Enough for this argument? That might be my favorite thing you've ever said. Enough for this argument. Okay. Okay, anyway. So
just because opportunity hasn't struck doesn't mean I don't want that opportunity. Hey. My girl agrees with me.
Your girl feels the same.
God damn it.
Like, holding on to heterosexuality by, like, the lack of availability.
I mean, yeah.
That's not what this show's about.
It goes there.
Okay.
Degrassi.
What?
That's the tagline.
No, come back. You don't get to walk away on that.
I needed a drink.
So, they gaslight Scooby, and part of the gaslighting is they get Scooby-Doo to go on, like, prime time and say he's not doing the show anymore, which magically that news reaches every child in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Which is important for the finale. It's super fucking creepy. So then they flash back and they're like, here's the last attempt that Scooby and Shaggy make. It's Charlie's Angels. It's dumb. Scooby jumps out of a plane with a parachute, doesn't pull the parachute, lands in a barrel of water. They really fuck with barrels in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
Pulls the parachute pops out of barrels. That's not how that works. But hey, whatever. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit anymore? You're on, like, minute 45 of this movie. You're just waiting for death.
Right. If you're a child watching this, you didn't care. You just like the funny moving shapes. If you're an adult watching this, you're baked out of your mind. Like, you don't care either.
God, that's what we should have been. That's how we should have watched this movie. That's the only way to watch this movie with any entertainment value. But so then, CJ's like, the producer, CJ, is like, I can't handle this anymore. You have to just do your show. And Scooby/Shaggy, as the voice of Scooby, because he's an asshole, is like, no, Scooby wants to be a star. Scooby's like, yeah, I want to be a star. And they're like, you are a star. And they open the doors, and fucking 1 million children have assembled in the street, further clogging LA traffic, I can only assume, which has to piss off a fuck ton of people.
Right, but before the doors open, you hear Scooby-Doo, and it's like just a couple people.
Yeah, so it's the chant is Scooby-Doo, we love you.
Yeah.
And they have, like, I would say, like, 4 people, maybe 5 people chanting that. Then they reverb it.
Right.
And then
or
they
have
reverb it
one
again.
of those, like, microphones you buy children that aren't actual microphones because that would ruin your life. That have the little echo inside of it.
Yeah, the echo box. Yeah. They're just recording an echo box.
Right. It's just that little microphone.
So the point is to imitate the thousands upon thousands, possibly millions of children chanting how much they love Scooby-Doo to appeal to you, the viewer, as someone who also enjoys Scooby-Doo.
And is a child.
They create the sound of demons.
Oh my god. Oh, it's terrifying. No, yeah. Yeah.
It's absolutely the sound that comes from the maw of hell.
Right.
And so
all of my dreams about going to hell involve Scooby-Doo, we love you being chanted in that exact way. Scooby-Doo, we love you.
We love you.
Wait, is there a can I can speak through to really kind of?
We're not gonna subject people to that.
Next
if
time.
if you really want to feel the horror, you just get this movie. You can buy it for $5. It's probably somewhere on the internet for free.
Ask us to do our next podcast in that little echo box chamber thing.
The entire hour-long podcast. God help us.
We'll go to a cathedral and just echoes. That'd be perfect.
It'll be perfect. So,
with our demon dogs.
During this, though, the children are apparently showing up by bus and hot air balloon. Yes. That's incredibly unsafe. Someone help those children.
And also, if you look at the crowd, a lot of those children look like old white middle-aged men.
Like maybe they just pulled animation from something else they were doing.
Right. They're like, we need a crowd, quick.
Yeah, so they just pull anything they've ever drawn, just stick it on top of each other.
And then gray out the background to suggest there's more people.
A lot of gray. Yeah. A lot of gray in this crowd.
Right.
Apparently Scooby-Doo has a high popularity among the gray population.
The shadow people love
Scooby-Doo. People love Scooby-Doo. Oh my god. That's the best thing I think we've said this whole time. The shadow people love Scooby-Doo. Quote that. But yeah, so Scooby-Doo decides to do his show, and that's kind of just the end. It's like, yay!
He cries, and that's what upset me is he didn't give a fuck before. He was just kind of like, well, my pal Shaggy thinks I deserve better, and maybe I do. I don't know what better looks like, but he says movies are a thing I should do.
So now we're going to get into that. Is Shaggy just a huge asshole?
Yes.
Yeah, in this movie.
But also, I think they tried to play Shaggy two ways. Where yeah, he's a giant asshole who's kind of taking advantage of Scooby, but also he's also trying to empower Scooby.
It really does come down to, does Shaggy actually think Scooby deserves better, or does he just think he can ride his coattails?
Right. Yeah.
Because I feel like it can only be one of those.
Because I think you experience that he knows he's second fiddle. He's just there because he owns the dog. He's like that friend with the garage, and you have a band.
He's the friend who has a van.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can be in our band. You can play the flute.
You can play bass and then turn the bass all the way
down. Whoa, hang on. Don't shit on bass players.
I'm not shitting on bass players. I'm shitting on bass players who don't actually play bass. They just have really sweet bands. I don't play an instrument. I can't shit on anybody who plays on an instrument.
Hey, you can shit on anyone. Just wait till they're asleep. Then they're lying down, and you can do whatever you want. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize to my family for that bit. That was bad. But yeah, so Shaggy's pushing Scooby throughout this whole movie, and we briefly touched on it near the beginning. Now we're gonna get into it. What are Scooby's rights? Is Scooby an actor or just a dog?
Well, are we trying to base this off of facts or what we think?
I mean, it's not like it actually matters.
If it helps you in movies and stuff that have live animals, the live animals have rights.
Okay, so Scooby has rights.
I feel like Scooby has more rights because he can actually speak.
Right, but can Scooby sign a contract? Does Shaggy handle all his contractual decisions? He makes out the contract that they go to sign.
Right. So
when he wants to do movies and stuff.
So I've seen All Dogs Go to Heaven, too.
That makes you the expert. I'm calling it now. I have not.
In All Dogs Go to Heaven, Charlie, he signs a contract with the devil cat.
But are there any humans in All Dogs Go to Heaven too?
Yeah. The little orphan boy.
Got it. Okay. Yep, you're right. You're right.
But, I mean, he's signing a contract that he will go to hell for little orphan boy if something doesn't occur.
Whatever.
I vaguely remember that movie, but I'm an expert.
Please note that we are not experts.
I love that. But he signs the contract to the Devil Cat. Now, mind you, this is animal and animal. Well, contract. We do not promote animal and animal contracts. So now, an agreement between a human and an animal, I feel like, could not be done because animals are not of the same intelligence and same understanding as a person is.
Okay,
especially
that's fair.
when in a human language. However, Scooby speaks English and can supposedly read English. And I say
he's also
supposedly.
an idiot.
Well, yes. There is that to think of. So, what it really comes to is a disabilities issue.
Oh, man. Oh. All right.
In which case, the ADA needs to jump on this shit because there's some fuck shit that he's completely being exploited.
Okay, so our concluding point of this podcast is Norville Rogers took advantage of a mentally handicapped individual.
Yeah. He knew, you saw the origin story, he saw that dog rolling around in that puppy pit. He was like, yeah, this is okay, this I can do.
Okay, so now we're going to cut to our final segment of the show, a segment that I'm very excited for. The only segment I've decided to title. This is...
I would like to title it Norville's a terrible name for a human being.
No, this has nothing to do with that.
This should never have happened. There is no God. Continue.
No, this is a reoccurring segment. Never mind. So we're going to entitle this segment... Scooby Do or Don't. Yeah, you go ahead and look at me that way. I'm not taking it back.
Scooby Dooby reviewy, thank you.
All right, we'll fight about it.
We'll talk.
So, we're going to read one 5-star review of this movie on Amazon and one 1-star review of this movie on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And then we are going to briefly give our own review of this movie, should you watch it or not. We want to give a diverse...
Am I allowed a specific character number or
amount? No character. I'm not going to count the characters you use. I'll have to count while you're talking. I'm not about to do that.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so first, the 5-star review. One sentence. No punctuation in the sentence, just an exclamation point at the end. Thank you, it was what I expected. 5 stars.
That makes me, wonder about their expectations. What they were expecting.
I told you I found a really good 5-star review.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, it's what I expected. Alright. Yeah, alright, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And the top critical review on Amazon, which is the one we're going to go with in this case, it won't always be the one we go with, but in this case I think it's the best, is Awful Scooby-Doo! Exclamation point. Kind of embarrassed that they had Scooby and the gang make this mess. Exclamation point. Does this person not know what cartoons are? That's my question.
Interesting that you asked this question, considering our whole conversation prior to this moment.
The entire hour's worth of conversation we've been having up till now.
This was all assuming it could possibly not be a cartoon.
There are other 1-star reviews, but none of them are really funny. There's I got this for my kid, and it was not a Scooby-Doo thing, which it's not. Those are just a fair point. This is not a Scooby-Doo movie, which comes to our review. My review of this movie is, it is not a Scooby-Doo film. It it was made entirely based on topical stuff of its period. No child will understand it. If you, like me, are like a Scooby-Doo fan and you kind of just want to own it as a thing to own, that's fine. But don't expect to watch it if you aren't super drunk or super stoned. Like, it is not enjoyable.
How many stars would you give it?
I don't want to give it 1 star on the fact that, like, the animation is weird, but I know they put work into it. Mm-hmm. I give this, like, 1 or 2 stars, honestly. On the sliding scale of Scooby-Doo, this is right at the bottom.
My review would be...
You're having to think about this a little too hard. So it's not a movie that, like...
No, it's more so me trying to form words.
I have no words for this movie.
It's not even that. It's like I have so many words. Like, I would have liked this movie better if I wrote it. Also, if you really enjoy, like, off-brand cameos, like Levon and The Groove...
Okay,
you'll love this movie.
So from, like, perspective of, do you like silly, bad movies? Do you think this was worth watching? It's at least entertaining to watch.
There are, like, 10 seconds of it that I would be like, you have to fucking watch this shit. The Sound of Music shit, mm-hmm. and
we did skip that one, the Love Boat, where they're in the cruise ship and they take off.
Yeah. Those two were good.
We forgot
ones.
that scene because it's all of 10 seconds long.
It's okay. We didn't actually forget it because we're going to edit this to fit it. Right?
No. I'm the sound engineer. I'm the producer. I'm everything. By the way, I'm everything for this podcast. I'm not doing shit.
I'm just the asshole who took advantage of him and was just like, yeah, I'll hang out with you and watch Scooby-Doo shit and talk.
That position will later be taken up by occasional guest stars anybody who I can get to watch a Scooby-Doo movie with me is literally just gonna, whoever is around. But yeah, so that's the show. You probably don't want to watch this movie. Next episode will be Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf.
I look forward to this one.
No, wait. I'm sorry. I fucked that up. I fucked that up. No, the next one is Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers, and then it's Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf.
Still looking forward to it, actually.
Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers is far and away better than this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in something like 15 years.
It sounds about right.
But I remember it being all right, so hopefully that's the case.
Yeah.
Either way, have a good one, folks.
Get off my lawn.